Beneath the luminous arms of our galaxy, a hidden presence waits. It does not shine, it does not burn, and yet it outweighs the stars themselves. Dark matter, the invisible scaffolding of the cosmos, holds galaxies together like unseen threads, binding light into vast spirals across the night sky. But what if that quiet force were not a gentle guardian? What if it grew restless, pulling tighter, heavier, until the Milky Way itself began to collapse into its grasp? Imagine every star you've ever known, the sun, blazing clusters, and distant giants, drawn into an invisible tide, swallowed by a sea of shadow. It would be like watching a grand cathedral of light slowly extinguished, its brilliance drowned by something we cannot touch, cannot see, yet know must be there. The scale defies comprehension. Trillions of suns vanishing, planets erased, even the spaces between stars consumed by a weight we cannot escape. Tonight, we step into that possibility, a journey into the hidden heart of matter itself, where the fate of entire galaxies hangs in the balance. This is the story of what might happen if dark matter consumed us all. In the silent reaches of the cosmos, an enigma drifts unseen. It does not burn, it does not shine, and yet it outweighs every star, every planet, every familiar beacon of light in the night sky. Dark matter, the hidden framework of the universe, lurks in shadows, forming the invisible bones upon which galaxies take shape. Without it, the Milky Way would unravel, its spiral arms cast adrift like leaves in a storm. But what if the balance shifted? What if the quiet scaffold that holds us together became the very force that consumes us? Picture the vast cathedral of stars above, billions of suns strung like lanterns across the dark. Now imagine that brilliance slowly dimming, as though swallowed by a tide no eye can trace. Gravity, relentless and unseen, drawing the galaxy into an invisible embrace. The thought unsettles, not because we can see it happening, but because we cannot. If dark matter were to tighten its grasp, to feed upon the very structures it once sustained, the Milky Way could become its feast. This is the paradox we step into, a presence both protective and potentially destructive, a force that is everywhere, yet nowhere to be found. To ask what would happen if dark matter consumed our galaxy is to ask what lies beyond the edges of our understanding, an abyss where science meets the unknown. And tonight, we begin to peer into that abyss. Across the span of cosmic history, galaxies have always been fragile things. They are born in clouds of gas, lit by the spark of newborn stars, and held together by an unseen hand. That hand is dark matter, stretching like a vast net through the universe, catching galaxies before they fly apart. Without it, the Milky Way would not survive even a fraction of its lifetime. It is the silent architect of order in a universe otherwise destined for chaos. And yet, the very scale of this hidden mass defies belief. For every atom of visible matter, every sun, every planet, every breath we take, there is 5 times as much dark matter. We are not the dominant substance of the cosmos. We are the faint trace, the cosmic afterthought. Stars may light the night, but dark matter dictates their stage. So we are left with a haunting thought. If it holds so much sway, what stops it from tightening its grip? What if its invisible threads, stretched through the Milky Way, began to collapse inward? Would our galaxy still shine, or would it be swallowed whole by the very skeleton that gives it form? To understand the danger, we must first grasp the strange nature of dark matter itself. It is not like the matter we know. It does not glow, scatter, or collide in ways our instruments can catch. It slips through stars, through planets, even through us, like shadows passing across glass. Scientists detect it only by the way it bends the path of light and anchors galaxies against the pull of time. In every direction we look, its fingerprints are there. Subtle distortions of starlight, cosmic dances choreographed by an unseen partner. And yet, this partner is elusive. We have built detectors deep underground, shielded by rock and silence, hoping to catch the faintest whisper of dark matter brushing against the atoms of our world. But so far, nothing. The mystery grows heavier with every failed attempt, reminding us that what governs the galaxy might be forever beyond our touch. If it were to change, if the balance shifted and dark matter began to dominate more fiercely, we would not see it coming. There would be no warning flare, no brilliant sign in the heavens. Only the quiet tightening of an invisible grip, pulling stars, planets, and entire constellations into a fate we could not escape. Imagine the Milky Way as a grand wheel of fire, its spiral arms whirling in a slow cosmic dance. What we see, the stars, nebulae, and glowing clusters, is only a thin veil stretched across something far larger. Beneath lies the halo of dark matter, an immense invisible sphere that dwarfs the galaxy itself. It is this hidden halo that keeps the stars from flying outward into emptiness. Without it, the disk of light would scatter like dust in the wind. But halos are not perfect. They shift, ripple, and collide when galaxies pass near one another. In these unseen tides, stars are drawn into strange orbits, some flung into deep space, others pulled toward crowded cores. If our own halo were to falter or grow unstable, the spiral beauty of the Milky Way could warp into something unrecognizable, a distorted shadow of the galaxy we once knew. And there is another possibility, darker still. If the halo itself were to collapse inward, the luminous wheel of our galaxy would not only twist, but shrink, dragging billions of suns into a tightening spiral. A silent collapse, with no blaze, no explosion, only the slow suffocation of light beneath, a cloak of gravity. To glimpse what such a collapse might mean, we look to the monsters already known to us, black holes. These singularities warp space so deeply that not even light can escape. Yet, unlike dark matter, black holes reveal themselves through their violence, devouring gas, igniting disks of fire, tearing stars apart in flashes that outshine galaxies. Dark matter, if it consumed, would be different. No roar of radiation, no scream of falling stars, only silence. Picture a future where the invisible sea thickens, where its gravity grows unyielding. Stars would drift inward, not in a fiery rush, but in a slow procession, like lanterns being drawn into fog. Over millions of years, the spiral arms of the Milky Way could unravel, their arcs pulled tighter until the galaxy itself became a dense, shadowed knot. And within that knot, what would remain? Would dark matter forge a hidden core more massive than anything we have ever known? Or would the galaxy simply dissolve, its stars scattered into the dark like embers fading from a dying fire? The answer lies beyond the horizon of our understanding, waiting in the silence where physics grows uncertain. Long before such visions of collapse, humanity first encountered dark matter through faint clues. In the 1930s, astronomer Fritz Zwicky studied the Coma Cluster, a swarm of galaxies bound together in defiance of visible gravity. The math did not add up. There was not enough luminous matter to keep them from flying apart. Something unseen had to be holding them together. He called it Dunkel Materie, dark matter. Decades later, Vera Rubin traced the spinning arms of galaxies. She expected stars at the edges to slow, to drift gently in their orbits. Instead, They moved as fast as those near the center. An unseen force was at work, as though an invisible hand steadied the wheel. Her discoveries confirmed that dark matter was not a mere curiosity. It was the hidden foundation of the cosmos. And yet, each revelation only deepened the mystery. We knew what it was not stars, not gas, not dust, not the matter of our bodies or our world, but what it is, that remains locked in shadow. The irony is haunting. The very thing that shapes galaxies and steadies the universe is the very thing we cannot name, and if its power ever turned destructive, we would be helpless beneath it. For us, the question is not only cosmic, but deeply human. Our sun is just one star among hundreds of billions, each suspended in the Milky Way by the invisible bonds of dark matter. If those bonds were to tighten, the sun itself could be drawn from its path, carrying Earth with it into regions of space we cannot imagine. Day and night would mean nothing in such a drift. The skies above would shift, constellations twisting into alien shapes as the heavens themselves were rewritten. Civilizations might never see it coming. The change would unfold slowly, over spans far longer than human history, but its weight would be absolute. Generations would rise and fall under a sky growing ever more unfamiliar. To live beneath a galaxy consumed by its own hidden skeleton would be to live on borrowed time, every orbit uncertain, every sunrise part of a quiet, unstoppable collapse. And still the most haunting truth is this: we are built of the rarest matter in the universe, stars, oceans, forests, flesh and bone. All of it together makes up less than a sliver of what exists. We are a spark adrift in an ocean of shadow. If that ocean swelled, it would swallow not just galaxies, but every story ever written in light. Push the thought further, and the scale becomes almost unbearable. If dark matter's grip strengthened across the Milky Way, it would not stop at the edges of our spiral. Its pull could ripple outward, seizing satellite galaxies, merging their stars into the tightening core. The Magellanic Clouds, our nearest companions, might vanish into the tide. Even Andromeda, that great neighbor destined to collide with us billions of years from now, could be drawn in sooner, not through a fiery crash, but through a silent devouring. The night sky would grow darker as familiar beacons winked out, their orbits lost to the invisible sea. What once stretched across the heavens as a river of light would shrink, fading into a dense, shadowed core. And as the galaxy dimmed, so too would the memory of its beauty. A universe once painted in starlight, stripped bare by forces we cannot see. And beyond that lies an even sharper question. If dark matter can consume one galaxy, what stops it from consuming them all? Could the silent web that shaped creation become the very net that drags it toward its end? If that fate awaited us, it would echo through the deepest corridors of time. Imagine not just the Milky Way, but every galaxy, each spiral and cluster, collapsing into the grip of dark matter. The cosmos would dim star by star, constellation by constellation, until only scattered embers flickered in a sea of shadow. No cataclysm would mark the moment, only a slow unraveling, the grand tapestry of creation folding inward upon itself. And in that silence, the universe would become something unrecognizable, not the radiant expanse of galaxies drifting like islands across an ocean, but a hidden realm of invisible mass, where light is scarce and memory fades. For all our science, for all our telescopes stretched toward infinity, we would be powerless to stop it, unable even to witness it in full. The devouring would happen behind a veil we could not pierce. So we are left with a haunting reflection. The same mystery that allowed stars to form and galaxies to shine might one day erase them. And if that is true, then the cosmos itself is balanced on the edge of paradox, a universe held by the very thing that could bring about its end.